The theme of this TEDx event is "What's the point?" What's the point? It's a colloquial phrase and question designed to instigate, challenge, to push, to seek clarity, definition, to encourage a delineation. And so my answer to the question is, we are the point. You, me, all of us. We are the point. Let me begin by sharing a little bit about myself, my identities, and the lens through which I view the world. Like so many of us, my life history is impacted by the journeys of my ancestors. I am an African American woman. I am the daughter of an African man from Freetown, Sierra Leone in West Africa, and an African American woman whose ancestors were enslaved in Texas and Alabama. My parents taught me several key lessons. Racism is real, sexism is undeniable, and that as a Black woman, I will need to work twice as hard and be twice as good. The lesson from my parents was that it was tough being a Black woman in America, and that every day was and would be a battle for self-validation, self-legitimacy, self-affirmation, and self-empowerment. They instilled in me a commitment to excellence and education. They also instilled in me a commitment to lifting others as I climb. So their message to me was that as I pursued degrees and credentials, I needed to help others in whatever way I could, at whatever stage of life that I was in. And so my journey started on two tracks, a personal track and a community track. My personal track included my own commitment to my education and 5 degrees, a bachelor's degree and master's degree in English from the University of Iowa, a master's degree and PhD in sociology, and a law degree from Vanderbilt. My community track was always a social justice track, working with those who were less privileged, less positioned, and less prepared, but with tremendous potential and possibility. I started tutoring minority students, high school students, in Upward Bound while I was at the University of Iowa, and also working at an after-school program for Black 6th grade girls. When I moved to Nashville, Tennessee to go to Vanderbilt, I started teaching college classes in the men's and women's minimum and maximum security prisons, and teaching at 2 small Black colleges and universities. Once I finished my formal education, I started getting an informal education about the world of power, wealth, networks, and influence. I learned about the ways in which power operates to perpetuate inequality and the status quo. And I committed to finding a profession that aligned with my passion for social justice to influence the redistribution of power, privileges, and opportunities. I moved professionally into the work of diversity and inclusion, affirmative action, equal employment opportunity, and disability work. And the 2 tracks, personal and community, became 1 track, a life of service to humanity. Last fall, I started a monthly video series called Menah's Matinee, Music and Musings. Each episode has a theme: joy, hope, love, gratitude, peace. This reflects my intentionality to live a life committed to serving humanity. Serving humanity, this is my 1 track. This is my point. My work at Virginia Tech and research and scholarship and my creative work all reflect this commitment to making a difference, to making a point with my life. Each of us must decide what we will do to make that difference. Virginia Tech is a special and unique place where we can make a difference. It is special because of its motto, Ut Prosim, that I may serve. Our motto creates a unique opportunity for us to make the inclusive VT difference. At Virginia Tech, inclusive VT is the institutional and individual commitment to Ut Prosim, that I may serve, in the spirit of community, diversity, and excellence. The Ut Prosim, the inclusive VT difference, is a commitment to be of service to anyone, at any time, and anywhere. The inclusive VT difference means our points must be connected, must become connected with others. How can we do this? I want to suggest that we can do this by making utprosum a verb, a point of motion, not a stagnant noun or a statement. We should ask ourselves, who did we utprosum? How did we utprosum? This world, politically, economically, environmentally, culturally, needs us to utprosum. To utprosum, we must begin with empathy. We must put ourselves in someone else's shoes, anticipate their feelings. This requires an extraordinary level of sensitivity, an ability to care deeply, to almost absorb the feelings of another. And it is by extending this level of compassion that our corresponding actions will be meaningful, will make a point, a difference, a demarcation. It is not a one-time act of being empathetic. It is a lifetime of acts. To become this force of change and transformation, we must have perseverance. We must be able to push persistently in the midst of obstacles, in the midst of challenges, in the midst of the sense of, I cannot go on, I am too tired, I am exhausted, my resources are depleted, I have nothing more to give, I have nothing to offer. In the midst of these moments, we must push. For that is what is really the point. Pushing against the odds to move from connected lines to intertwined lines. It is slow work, like braiding and stitching together of different experiences, perspectives, and backgrounds. It requires skill, but also a unique combination of courage, conviction, and commitment. There must be a conviction and commitment to something bigger than ourselves that will outlast our journey. That commitment and conviction enables us to be courageous, to speak up, to act, to do. It enables us to become part of something bigger, a global community, inseparable part of one humanity. So what's the point? All of our lives are meaningless if we are not intentional in making a point with our lives and having impact. Putting a dot, however small, on the map of life. It is proof that we were here, we lived, and we made a difference. Our lives must make a point, a mark, a small mark. For if we do not make a mark, how is it that we can show that we lived? When the dash, the line between birth and death, is placed upon our tombstone, what is our dash? What did we do? Did we just dash through our lives, helter-skelter? Or did our lives make a point, make the inclusive VT difference? All of us should ask ourselves, are we living a life in service to others, to humanity? It's never too late. Let's utprosum together. Thank you.